body bags were whore lies.
Who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead?
Hey guys, happy Thursday, this is your fright chick speaking. It's friggin' freezing and I have to tilt my head down because if I look up, the fucking glare off my glasses just ruins it. Okay, so this week I'm going to be talking about Night of the Demons 2. This is the German release trilogy. It's actually really good little pickup. Obviously, Night of the Demons, you could only get it in region 1. So if you want a region 2, I'm not sure if there are more releases at this point, but I got this a couple of years ago and it's the German release. Obviously, it's German dub, but you can also watch it in English, even though everything written on it is in fucking German. But it's great. It's fine. So there you go, region 2 wanters. You know, there you go. Okay, so Night of the Demons 2. Now, this came out in 1994. The first one, I think, came out in something like 88 or something like that. So they did wait a good while before they actually bothered to make a sequel. I'm actually not going to rip on this too much. I do like it and hate it because it does suck. It is a shitty B movie. It's a sequel to a shitty B movie, so therefore it's a B- movie. But I do have a bit of love for this because they actually tried to make a plot. They did. And it kind of worked, except for the fact they weren't sure where they were going. You can either have a horror comedy or a horror that is a comedy that didn't mean to be, and they didn't quite work out which one they wanted to be. So there are some bits that are clearly meant to be funny, and then the rest of it you're like, was that meant to be fun? I don't know. But yeah, so the basic plot of this movie, it is now 6 years after the events of the first one, which actually does work out because it was 6 years later that they made the film. So Angela and all of her friends were taken out at the party at Hull House, for those of you that didn't see the first one. Angela is our main antagonist, and she is now being rumoured in Movieverse to have gone to hell and become the devil's favourite. Okay, now most of the movie takes place outside of Hull House. It takes place in a Catholic boarding school run by a nun whose name I can't remember, but she's been in other stuff. Sister Gloria, who is fucking badass and just awesome. I love her. Now we have our little group of bitchy girls with like 3 girls and their 3 boyfriend type people who have don't even fucking need names. And then we have Mouse, real name Melissa. She is Angela's little sister who has lived at this place for like the last year because her parents killed themselves after getting a note from Angela that basically was like, that pushed them over the edge. So she's all on her own and she's really nerdy and she's really really timid and quiet like a mouse, hence her nickname. So we have this new girl who is the biggest bitch you ever meet. And the other girls are kind of just informing her about the whole house situation, the whole mouse situation, because she thinks it's a great idea to pick on her and make her feel like crap. Halloween is approaching, and they have the Halloween school dance. They all get told that they're not allowed to go because one of them was fucking about with a boy on the tennis court and ruined it for everybody. So they decide, or I say they, Shirley Bitch Queen decides that she is going to pull a massive prank. Now, I fucking love it when they do. They pull these pranks, and these pranks can go really wrong and hurt people, yet they find that shit funny. What is wrong with you? It's not even real, and it's annoying me. So Shirley decides that they're going to go to Hull House. So she gets BB, who is our actually nice girl in a bitchy clique. And what's the other girl's name? Terry, who is played by Christine Taylor, who, as we all know, is married to Ben Stiller. I like her in these really early roles because she did some shit films before she actually got anywhere. So we have the 2 girls and we have their boyfriends who are hot by 80s standards here, okay? There's some big ass hair going on there and, some fucking just, you know what I'm talking about. You'll know what they look like. Miami Vice meets Hairspray. So they all go to Hull House and they manage to get Mouse to tag along. They have no idea where they're going, and when they get there she flips out because she can't go in there because obviously she's traumatised by the whole Angela situation. But they go in there anyway, and Shirley pulls this horrible prank on her where she's pretending to sacrifice her. That goes all wrong. They all go, well, fuck you, we don't want to do this, and they decide to leave, even though, a couple of them have these weird moments where they think they see things. So they get out of the house, but BB takes a lipstick with her. They're doing an Amityville thing here. She takes a lipstick with her, which then allows Angela's spirit to leave the house and find them. even though they throw it away, like she can still find them. So they go back to their own Halloween dance, and Angela turns up, and she of course has to do a dance number in the middle of the film. But then you've got things happening where people are getting picked off and they're getting possessed, and you know, obviously she wants Mouse, so Mouse is kind of the end game for this whole film. But it is very fun just watching her kind of, you know, I mean, it's more fun than the first one, I think. I mean, the first one was great, but this one's more fun because there's a lot more people to interact with. And then you've got Sister Gloria and the priest who become aware of the situation of a demonic presence on the school campus, and then they decide that they need to sort it out. So they get fucking super soakers full of holy water and all that shit. And there's a really awesome, like, is it Commando when he starts putting all the grenades and shit on himself and gets ready? Yeah, it's Commando, isn't it? There's like a weird Commando moment where she's like gearing up with all of this like holy arsenal. It is hilarious. That's where the not sure if it's meant to be funny bit comes in. So you're literally just watching them, you know, running around getting possessed, trying not to get possessed, and then Sister Gloria gets involved, and then they start realising that Angela's actually behind it and the whole myth thing was real. She wants to kidnap Mouse and takes her back to Hull House, where we have our massive showdown, because they then have to go and rescue her. And that is the film, you know. It is like they go to Hull House, they shouldn't have done. They come back out and bring a piece of it out with them. Angela is now here and starts fucking everything up and killing people and possessing people. They realise that Mouse is the catalyst for this. Mouse gets taken back to Hull House by Angela so she can perform a fucking sacrifice ritual thing. They have to go and save her, and do they take out Angela? Well, clearly not, because we had a third one. Okay? But I guess they take her out in the way that you take Freddy Krueger out. You do kill him, but not for very long. So yeah, it is a fun film. I mean, it's a little bit weird at times. There's a moment where there's a head in a toilet. Now, I don't mean that in the sense of like someone lifted a toilet seat, saw a severed head and freaked out. No, they lifted the toilet seat and a fucking face was there with weird teeth and started saying something to them to scare them. I don't know what that fucking head said. I never know what that fucking head says every time I see it. But if I lifted a toilet and saw someone's face in there looking at me, I wouldn't stand there screaming at it a little bit. I would slam that shit down and run out of the room. Because that's what you're supposed to do. But this isn't the real world. So they, of course, let that shit happen. I also, if I saw a lipstick turn into a snake type thing that was coming towards me like this, I also wouldn't freak out, run for the door, and then when I realised that I can't get out, stand there and scream until the fucking thing slithered towards me. It took ages, okay? It took ages. I would have stamped on that shit, or I would have covered it with something, because this is the real world. I could go on all night like this. I really could. But apart from those little tiny things where you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe they just... That would never have happened. And the whole dance montage in the middle as well, where she's just... I don't know, they had one in the original, I guess they had to have one in this. It's a bit weird though. But yeah, apart from that, it's a fun film. It really is, especially as a sequel to Night of the Demons, if you liked it. I'd say give it a watch. And I'd say pick up this trilogy actually, because I do think this is one of the better copies if you want to get all three together. I mean, I know you can get the third one on the 12 Scream pack or something like that, but yeah, give this one a watch. I will see you guys next week.